Yo, what's going on guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today's one we're going to be taking a look at the newly released Firebase Z trailer, going frame by frame and analysing everything. So without further ado, let's go. We're going to get through this as quick as possible, taking a look at all the key points in this trailer, and we're going to take a look at why they're important and what this means for the map itself. To kick off the trailer, they show us some of these cinematics going over both the Firebase and the village. But in the Firebase cinematic, you can see in the center here, if we zoom in a little bit, we have Tombstone, and above that we have the radar dish, which we'll see later on in the trailer. In this next scene, we get a nice little cinematic pan of what looks to be an area of the map they took inspiration from Summit for. Key thing to note in terms of gameplay here, obviously jug is to the right side of the screen, make sure you remember that when you're playing. Then we get our first close-up cinematic of the village, where we can see a crafting table right outside this little archway. Through there we see Pack-a-Punch, and to know that's directly in spawn room is pretty cool. Also to note, this little room window in the back, we'll take a look at that later, but that is very important and very interesting.
The way you play in D Machina might not necessarily translate over to Firebase Z.
Then we have Anthony Saunders, the lead level designer, telling us that the metas from D Machina may not necessarily transfer over to Firebase Z. Now what this means for the actual meta itself, we don't exactly know yet, but in my opinion, it's probably going to be something to do with a change on how we fight the Mimic and the Mangler, which we'll see later on. Next we get some gameplay from the mission control room, which gives us a brand new objective, just to protect the collection units. We have 2 bars, one for damage and another for charge. Now in this section of the trailer, this is where my idea of the meta changing comes from. We see our first fights with the Mangler and the Mimic. Now as you can see here, they're using an Orion 777 shotgun, which if you didn't know was the Howler upgraded. Tier 1, again, it could vary depending on whether you get to tier 3 or not, but we'll see. But in this segment, by looking at the health bar, we can see that a shotgun doesn't really do as much damage as it normally does. Now, given that most of these are body shots and not headshots, it may vary, but again, based on this trailer, it looks like shotguns are going to be a lot weaker on these mini bosses, meaning that the meta is going to change and maybe something like ARs will be drafted in, who knows. I clipped out this little segment here because I'm not quite sure what's going on, whether it's a visual glitch or what, but if you look at when the Mimic pulls you in here, you'll notice the damage bar doesn't go down, but actually in fact goes down just before the Mimic pulls you in. So I don't know whether that's a bit of a mess up in terms of the timing between animation and damage, or it might have been a zombie hitting him before the Mimic pulls him in which case means that this pull animation is ineffective. We also get a look at the Tombstone icon at the bottom of the screen in this clip as well.
And bite you, basically, if you see something sitting around and wonder why nobody picked it up, why is that awesome item still sitting there? It's probably a Mimic.
And then here again we have Anthony Saunders explaining to us the whole prop hunt feature of the Mimic, and that if something's on the floor that looks useful and you're wondering why no one's picked it up, it's probably a Mimic, so make sure you guys keep that in mind when you play this for the first time. And back to the village, in this little window that I mentioned, we have the room where Ravenov is, and you can see to the right what looks like a little speech box which we can speak through. I'm not sure if this is going to be some sort of voice activation for voice lines, or it's going to be something to do with the Easter egg. Either way, keep an eye out for this.
I don't think I've ever felt as excited about post-launch seasons of content as I do this year. I think people are probably, when they get to the end of this, they're going to look back at what we've done and go, I did not see that coming.
If any harm comes to her, I will kill you myself.
And then finally there, I put that clip in as it's just a bit of reassurance of him saying that he's never been excited for post-launch content as much as he has this year, which is very reassuring for us zombies players. Anyway, that's pretty much all the key points we have in this trailer. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel, as we're going to have full coverage of everything you need to know about Firebase Z tomorrow on the 4th launch day. Hopefully you guys enjoy it tomorrow. I'm very hopeful for this map. D Machine being out for a month made it quite dead. I won't lie. Anyway, if you guys do have anything that I missed, let me know down in the comments. Thank you again for watching, and until then, I will see you all next time. Peace out.
I just took a couple sips, I'm in the face. Shawty wanna take me back to a place. In a car, 100 dash, it's a race. And you niggas acting hard for the fame.